When I started working on the web application, I started realizing that the biggest challenge is in the end after code completion. I came across a challenge to create end-to-end application that has React as front-end, Mongo as DB and Flask, Python 3.6, as full stack. The biggest question is how to maintain the three services and do easy deployment. Then I came across this tool called Docker. Docker helps to containerize your application and give configuration for seamless deployment anywhere. Following are the steps. Create Mongo as a server, in Docker Compose. Create React application, using Dockerfile. Create Flask, Python 3.6, as backend service, using Dockerfile. Integrate Mongo services with backend. Integrate frontend with backend. Club all services in Docker Compose. Production-ready Docker configuration. Step 1. Create Mongo as a server, in Docker Compose. Docker Mongo image is available in https://hub.docker.com/_/mongo. This image can deploy DB instance in our Docker container as a service. It is very simple, add following lines in docker compose.yml and you will get MongoDB service. One can build and run using following commands. Docker compose upd. After running the command one can check the MongoDB as follows. Docker execute mongo bash. / mongo uadmin padmin. Important things to note here. 1. Restart. This is Docker container policy for restart the container when necessary. One can check for the different options is this link. 2. Command. Sometimes one need to start the MongoDB server differently, so basing on the condition one can set flags like -auth to start the server. 3. mongo_data_dir. This is an important folder where Mongo data is stored, this needs to be set for backup of data. 4. Mongo init.js. This is important script where we will initialize DB and put initial data for app, or seed data. Step 2 in the same folder of docker compose.yml file, create Angular project. In my sample code, I have to create React application using npx, or yarn, and the name of the application is frontend. Once you create Angular application, create a Docker file. Step 3 create a Python 3.6, Flask, project in the same folder of docker compose.yml file and create Docker file. Step 4 to integrate backend with MongoDB, we use network attribute in docker compose.yml file. In Python, connect to MongoDB using Mongo client instance of pymongo with helpos.getEnv method to get user ID and password from the docker compose.yml file which is set in the environment as mongo_username and others. Step 5. Integrate frontend with backend. Integrate frontend with backend using network attribute in docker compose.yml. And provide proxy for backend in frontend in environment file. Call the backend service from frontend using proxy URL. In package.json provide proxy URL proxy http://localhost:5000. Step 6. Club all services in Docker Compose. Provide complete services in docker compose.yml file and do following commands. Docker Compose build. Docker Compose up. Test the application in a browser by accessing http://localhost:3000. Step 7. Production-ready Docker configuration. Once testing is done, we are now ready to deploy our code to deploy in production. But frontend is not expected deployed using a node. So frontend build needs to be deployed in nginx. For this we will use another set of configuration files for production deployment. When we use nginx for the production environment, we need to provide nginx configuration file for frontend. For backend we can configure as webapp_API, which needs further configuration. To build and deploy in production, as given in deploy production.sh, run this command. Docker compose f docker compose prod.yml up build. To shut down, as given in shutdown production.sh, run this command. Docker compose f docker compose prod.yml down.